Do do do. Dun 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 dun. Hey interwebs, it's Jackie K, and welcome for another edition of the KayCast. So the bad news is nothing too new is going to be going on next week. The good news is that I do have the Chibi Robo issues sorted out, so there should be a new episode for at least the next couple weeks. Though I feel like I'm going to be able to start doing that a lot more consistently. So until I say otherwise, Chibi Robo is going to be uploaded every Tuesday. And I can pretty much guarantee that it's going to be the case for at least 2 more weeks now. Probably more than that though. I also did finish editing a convention video a little while back, so I'll probably throw that up on YouTube Thursday. Besides the KayCast though, that's about all I have planned for the next couple months though. I'm still focusing on going through my computer, finding old video files and editing them together so I can clear up some space. On the bright side, as I've mentioned in the past, there has been Sun and Moon news confirmed on September 6th. It'll probably be a trailer like how they released news for Pokemon Sun and Moon in the past. So that'll definitely be on the next KayCast, if not its own episode next week. So yay! That's definitely either going to be a long episode or 2 episodes that pretty much add up to that time. As for what I've been up to lately though, I've been continuing my job searching. I'm on a good luck spree with that now. Hopefully that means it'll lead to somewhere soon. And between that and video editing, I haven't had too much spare time. But when I've had spare time, I've been focusing on walking and trying out Pokemon Go. Because I got the Pokemon Go Plus last week. And I'm not sure if I had it when I recorded KayCast, but I know that I didn't really get a chance to try it out yet. I think at this point though, I'm comfortable sharing my thoughts and opinions, and if I would recommend it to others. Only other thing of note, I felt real far behind on my picture feeds. Okay, I'll just say it straight. I am on DeviantArt, as I've probably mentioned in the past, and I do follow a lot of cosplays just because I like the art form. So I probably wasted an hour just catching up on all the cosplay photos from different groups that I follow. At least I'm caught up on that now, but it's got me thinking. Would people be interested in me doing a segment? Probably not every KayCast, but definitely a good filler segment if I don't feel they are long enough, where I go through my favorite cosplays that I found that particular week. If you're listening, feel free to let me know. I might give it a shot next week or a couple weeks in the future just to see how I feel about it. But your opinions are always appreciated. Before I go more into my Pokemon Go adventures, there is one small to me, but definitely significant to other regions, piece of news that they announced. And that's how Pokemon Go has just been released in 5 new regions. Forgive me in advance, I'll try to pronounce them the best I can. Albania, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, Maku, Makolita, and Serbia. I think I butchered them all. Even the simple one like Siberia. Oh well. But yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you're in those regions, you probably already know if you're interested in Pokemon Go, but it's a free game to download, so why not download it on your phones and give it a shot? Please let me know if you're actually watching from one of those regions, because I am a pretty pathetic podcast. I highly doubt that I got more than 5 people watching, and I'd be amazed if any of them were even outside the US. I could give Europe a possibility and a chance too, but I'd love to hear from some of my foreign watchers if you're out there. And during my walking adventures today, I didn't really catch anything rare. I know I didn't mention it last time, but I did catch a cipher that was pretty good power for my standards, but I think I actually caught that last week, so that doesn't count. The best things I found was a pretty good Nidoran female and a pretty good IV Caterpie, so I'm actually a fan of Butterfree, so that's a good thing for me, even though it'll probably be impossible to make it good for gyms in the long run. It's definitely better than the Butterfree I have before, so I just gotta save up the candies for it. That Nidoran female though, that one was so amazing. I saw its power, I appraised it and checked its IVs, and I couldn't resist evolving it right on the spot, so I had about 75 candies or so, and I was so close to getting Nidoqueen. Now I'm gonna have to grind those candies back up again. It should be worth it for the more powerful Pokemon though. And on the subject of powerful Pokemon, I've been doing surprisingly well with gyms lately. You know how last week I said I'd be lucky if I was able to get 50 Pokecoins in a single week? Heck, I think I might have said I'd be surprised to even get 30. Well, I've definitely gotten at least 50 Pokecoins this week, because I'm up to 150 now. I'll have that enough for the item extension in no time. And I know I've at least heard from other Pokemon discussions that the item upgrade isn't that useful, but for me, I find myself maxing out my items a lot. So when I actually have enough saved for it, it'll definitely be worth the investment, for me personally. Despite the fact that I live in a Pokemon dead zone, I've managed to drive around and find a few places that are good for walking around and collecting items. I think the Pokemon Go Plus has also been helping me max out my items. And speaking of the Pokemon Go Plus, long story short, I've really been enjoying it, but I understand if it's not for everyone. The most ideal situation for the Pokemon Go Plus is if you want to go on a walk, you don't want to pull up your phone, but you still want to check up on any Pokestops and possibly catch a few Pokemon along the way. The Go Plus is perfect for this. So how it works is, first you set it up. I had a bit of a frustrating time setting it up, but only because I couldn't remember how to reset the Go Plus to factory settings. Once you figure out that, it's really easy to connect the two together. But even if you are having issues, you just reset it, and it works like a charm again. Unfortunately, I do find myself having to do this about once a day, but it's real simple to restart it once you understand how. Once you actually get in and walk around, you basically can put your phone in your pocket, even if you have it turned off, and you either put the Go Plus around your wrist, like a wristband, or clip it to your pocket. There's actually two separate backs, one for holding it on your wrist and one for clipping it to your pocket. So unfortunately, if you find situations you like wearing it, but other situations that you want it more subtle, you may have to, that part is a bit of a hassle. Because I think there's a way to do it without the using a screwdriver, but if you really want to make sure that it's securely on, I would recommend just getting a pointed screwdriver and using it to unscrew and screw each of the backs on. Because I've heard things about the clip-on method for the backs being a bit loose. So for me personally, it's worth taking the time to unscrew one back and screwing the other one on. That was a bit of a tangent. Now, once you've done that, which I swear is easier and simpler than I made it sound, you go on your walk with your Pokemon Go Plus, and as you're walking, it basically could do one or two things. It'll rumble and glow blue, meaning you're walking by a Pokestop. You click the button on it, and you get the items from the Pokestop, just like if you were to tap your phone, pull out the Pokespot, and spin it, and then close it out. The other feature it has is, when it goes green, that means there's a wild Pokemon nearby. If you push the button on the Go Plus, you'll attempt to capture it. It'll glow white 3 times, just like a Pokeball shake, and if it flashes a bunch of colors afterwards, that means you successfully caught the Pokemon. If you get glowing red, that means the Pokemon ran away. There's a little bit of a trade-off because on one hand, you don't use up any items, no Pokeballs, no Great Balls, no Ultra Balls, catching Pokemon for the Gold Plus. However, as you might suspect from my description, you only get one shot to get it. It's permanently gone, at least until the servers reset, if you fail to catch it with the Gold Plus. And I forgot to mention that with the collecting stuff from the Pokespots, it works in a similar fashion. If it glows a bunch of color, that means you were successful getting items. If it glows red, there's some issue with it. Probably because you're trying to be a cheater and get it both from your phone and the Gold Plus, which it won't let you do. Or just some sort of connection issue. But that's been fairly uncommon for me, unless I'm intentionally trying to get it from both. Another great thing about the Gold Plus is that it will keep track of your steps, so you can earn buddy candies obtained from your buddy Pokemon while walking, and get mileage for your eggs. You can't hatch the eggs, so you do have to do a little bit of guessing. For example, if I have my phone closed and I'm using the Gold Plus, and I have a 2-kilometer egg, if I end up walking 3 kilometers, the egg won't hatch until I turn on my phone, even if I'm past 2 kilometers. So you do run the risk of losing a little bit of efficiency unless you're checking on your phone every now and then. But if you really want to go for a walk and you plop in a 10-kilometer egg, I don't see you running into that issue. But besides collecting items from Pokespots, catching Pokemon, hatching eggs, and getting candies from the buddy system, that is all you can do with the Gold Plus. You can't battle in gyms, and you don't get a second chance catching Pokemon. So if you're looking for a rare one, you still might have some incentive to pull up your phone every now and then. Thankfully, there is a method that you can use to Gold Plus just to find a Pokemon, and once you do, pull up your phone and pull up the Pokemon Go app and check to see if it's worth taking the time to catch, or you can still press the button on the Gold Plus to catch it through that method. However, once you do try to catch a Pokemon manually, as I'll be calling it, the Gold Plus will disconnect, and you'll have to reconnect it in order to continue walking without your phone on. Thankfully, as I said before, that is a simple method. And have the itching to do a battle at a Pokemon gym you happen to find along the way? Well, just be ready to reconnect the Gold Plus after you're done at the gym, because that will disconnect it as well. I should probably clarify, because it may be intimidating some people. You can use the Gold Plus while having the Pokemon Go app on. It's just certain activities that would derive away from the main walking screen that makes it disconnect. For example, if you want to check up on your journal, which is the only way to really tell what Pokemon you've caught with the Gold Plus, or you want to check to see if that Pokemon eggs about to hatch, or you want to see how many buddy candies you've earned in a walk, you can do all that without disconnecting the Gold Plus. Putting eggs on incubators, checking medals you might have earned, pretty much anything that I haven't explicitly said disconnects the Gold Plus will not disconnect the Gold Plus. So you can still do most of your Pokemon Go activities while having the Gold Plus running. I personally don't find it much different from not using the Gold Plus, except for the fact that I don't have to keep my phone on all the time. Or if you're just in a situation that you need the Pokemon Go experience streamlined, for lack of a better way to describe it. Before getting the Gold Plus, I've noticed quite a few times where I just wanted to walk from point A to point B, or walk as much as I could, but I couldn't because I had to stop and do other features in the game, whether it be catch a Pokemon or battle at a gym. Using the Go Plus though, if I really want to focus on a walk, I can do so. And if I'm in a situation where I got the time to stop and catch a Pokemon, I can still do that too. And because of that, it really does save on battery. I was a little skeptical at first because I always have my phone in sleep mode when I'm not using it. But even for someone like me, I've noticed my battery life has improved the more that I use the Pokemon Go Plus. Plus, if I want to do something else on my phone, like set up some music to listen to, or start up a new podcast to listen to, or pull up charity miles and see how long I've walked, I can do all that without losing a single step, as long as my Go Plus is connected. The Go Plus is good if you don't know where Pokemon or Pokestops are, because you can just put it into your pocket or hide it underneath your sleeve, and it does rumble when you run into one of those two things, so you don't even have to see the lights to know when there's a Pokemon or Pokespot nearby. I figured I'd throw that out there in case some people were turned off by anything else I said. Overall, I really love the Go Plus, and I'm certainly getting my money's worth, though that does have a lot to do with my personal preferences and what I want out of Pokemon Go, and a little bit with my main geographic area, than just a general quality test. For hardcore Pokemon Go players, I really only recommend it for the grind, just to collect some Stardust and Pokemon candies in areas that you normally wouldn't have a chance to play the game anyways. For people who just want to walk and take in the scenery though, I would recommend the Go Plus as often as you can use it. Plus it does allow you to be more aware of your surroundings, which is very important when playing Pokemon Go. It's also great for walking in dead zones since you know there isn't a gym to worry about, and you can save a bit of battery life while still going on a walk to get those kilometers to hatch your eggs. For me personally, I'm finding Pokeballs less and less necessary as I use the Go Plus, since it is a pretty good chance at catching the common Pokemon. I was going to say that you are a lot more likely to catch the common Pokemon with the Go Plus, but I don't have facts to back this up. It's just a feeling I got from using it and actually catching so many Pokemon, and having so many of those Pokemon being the Pidgeys, Caterpies, and slightly less common Pokemon, and having a Tauros run on me while using the Go Plus. If I go back through my journal though, I might actually find that just as many common Pokemon run as the rare Pokemon. But point being, because I use the Go Plus, I'm not using Pokeballs as often, so I'm able to stockpile them quite a bit more. I've actually tossed Pokeballs a couple times while using the Go Plus, so I could stock up on the rare balls like Great Balls and Ultra Balls. That might just be my personal experience though. I'll have to use it a bit more to get an idea of whether that's actually something I would recommend to others. The other downside to the Go Plus, which may be obvious to some people, but I'll point out anyways, you don't get those extra CP bonuses for things like curveballs, or the nice, great, and excellent bonuses. If you're that desperate for experience that you have to catch every Pokemon manually, you won't really find use for the Go Plus. You might have, if you're walking in a pretty much a Pokemon dead zone, it might be good to have just to walk around until you find a Pokemon. That way you don't have to keep your phone on while walking around. But I am still pushed to find recommendations for those types of people. Overall, I think both demographic of Pokemon Go players will find some use out of the Go Plus. Whether you only use Pokemon Go as an incentive to walk more, or if you're trying to catch them all. Overall though, I think the people who are going to get their money's worth out of Pokemon Go Plus the most are people who are going to be walking around a lot and have the app, but they don't want to constantly have their phone out or look like one of those stereotypical Go players that are constantly staring at their phone as they're walking around. Like I said though, it all comes down to personal taste to see if you're going to get your money's worth out Pokemon Go. Hopefully the extensive amount of time that I talked about though helps you make a better decision. That's about all I got for the Pokemon Go Plus. I do want to talk about it a bit more if I spend more time with it. So if I come up with anything new worth talking about, I'll be sure to bring it up in future KayCasts. But now that I'm done with that, onwards to Amiibo talk. Unfortunately, between the lack of Amiibo news and the lack of progress with my own customs, I don't got too much to talk about in regards to Amiibo. Okay, I would say we had no Amiibo related news, but I'm literally finding out about this after I recorded the rest of the KayCast, but I wanted to add it as a footnote. Maybe if I get this out early enough, you guys can actually take advantage of it. Just today on their corporate page, Best Buy announced that Lucina as well as other rare Amiibos are coming back, and I'm not positive if all of them are, but at least Lucina is going to be Best Buy exclusive. As you see quoted on the page, get ready for a blast from the past. Best Buy is bringing back some rare Amiibos, and leading the way is the ultra hard to find Lucina, available exclusively at Best Buy. Other Vigilant Amiibo available include Gold Mario, Pit, Samus, Mega Man, and Sonic the Hedgehog. They each arrive 2 weeks on Friday, October 14th. You can place pre-orders on yours today online, and either have it shipped to you or pick it up at store. These immensely popular figures from Nintendo come to life and expand your gameplay when you... Yeah, that last paragraph is just explaining Amiibo functionality. And it mentions, be sure to have the Gamer Unlock membership because you save 20% on each Amiibo you purchase. Whoa! Yay for mixing out the mic. But this is pretty big news. I was only lucky enough to get the Lucina Amiibo that I used for customization because, let's just say, really good chance. I wasn't actually able to get it from a store, I was able to get it secondhand from someone else. And it comes down to pure luck that I didn't have to pay an arm and a leg for it. So Lucina coming back alone is really big news. I've gotten a lot of these other Amiibos that I'm interested in, but if I had more money, I might pick up the Pit Amiibo, because that was one I missed from the initial wave. I personally don't have any interest in Gold Mario. Doesn't really do too much besides Mario Maker. And while it's nice to get use out of all your Amiibos in that game, it is possible to get some of those costumes without the Amiibos for Mario Maker. So if you ever had any interest in any of the Amiibos that I list, get on Best Buy's site now. Assuming I get this up early enough, you're definitely running late if you're only finding out about this now. And get it pre-ordered, because a lot of these Amiibos are rare like they claim. And you haven't been able to find them for a long time since their initial release. I think we also got some new screenshots of the Monster Hunter Amiibo since I last talked on the KayCast, but oh my god, get on Best Buy now, pre-order your Amiibos if it's not too late already. This is probably the biggest deal we'll have for the next few weeks. Shoutouts to Amiibo News for giving me the heads up on all this. They do have a Twitter feed if you want to follow them directly. I believe it's just simply at Amiibo News, or you can go to their site Nintendo Wired at nintendowired.com. I've repaid my debt. Now to go pre-order my Amiibos if I had the money to do so. So I decided to search around Reddit for silly posts and search around the rest of the internet for some custom Amiibos. With that said, let's play a game called Jacket K tries to describe random Reddit pictures with his voice. Yes, describing a picture with a voice. This first one is a post on the Amiibo Reddit called Let Ness Pick the Game Tonight. It Stinks. And it's a picture of a NES Amiibo next to the guy's game collection, zoomed in on the Super NES. Link is pointing to the game, and it's Earthbound. I'm not gonna kill the joke, but you would have to be an Earthbound fan to get that. I found it fairly amusing. The second post is also from Reddit, and is titled "By Popular Demand, an actual Don't Talk to Me or My Son Again post." And it involves a Mega Man and Sonic amiibo. Pretty much on opposite ends of the picture, with a Figma of each of the figures right next to them, basically holding them. So it's in the format of the "Don't talk to me or my son ever again" meme. I'll be sure to have links to these on the YouTube videos. What would be the best way to look it up for the audio listeners? I guess go to Reddit, go for the humor tab, and if it's not up on the first page, you might be able to search the Amiibo Reddit by the titles of these. And it's the best suggestion I got. Those were the two main posts that came to mind though. I do have a few custom amiibos that I saw throughout the internet that I want to share though. This first one I found on DeviantArt, done by Electric Empire, and it's called Prisma, but I think that's just the name of her OC from Splatoon. He was basically a stylized inkling girl. Got a bit of spiky hair. I'll be sure to have a picture up for the visual listeners, but I recommend looking up Electric Empire on DeviantArt to check it out for yourself. The title of it is Custom Amiibo Prisma, if that helps you with your search. The second one I also saw on DeviantArt. I think it's a bit older, but it's the first time I've come across it myself, so I wanted to point out anyways. It is done by Amma and Kosu. I probably mispronounced that badly, but the DeviantArt user is AMANDKO. No. Let me try it one more time. We'll get the spelling right eventually. AMANDKYO -SU. And it's Samus in a swimsuit, but you guys probably seen those types of customs a lot. Originally I was gonna just say I kinda like the style of this amiibo for some reason, but I also noticed that she's also holding a water gun instead of her stun pistol, which is a really cool touch, which kind of puts more focus on the fact that it's a swimsuit rather than just sexualizing Samus. I would highly recommend checking out. It's apparently on sale on her Etsy shop as well. Give me 1 second, I'll double check to make sure that it's still live. But if you want to check out this Samus amiibo for yourself, I recommend going to her page on DeviantArt and looking up Samus Swimsuit Custom Amiibo. While I'm waiting for that page to load, let me go to the last custom amiibo I want to feature this week. Last but certainly not least is this really awesome Olimar amiibo that I found on Instagram. I'm not positive who the creator is, but I found this under the account Micah's Collections. And essentially it's an Olimar. Looks like it might be based off the Bowser Jr. amiibo because it looks like he's floating around in that, but it's encapsulated kind of like Eggman's little floater. And it's kind of got these pigmen chained around the sides. It gives off a bit of a Porky's Machine vibe as well. It's kind of awesome. And I wish I could describe it better than I'm doing. But I'll be sure to have the link on YouTube Otherwise, I would recommend going to Micah's Collections Instagram account and looking up from there. As the time of posting it is only 2 days old, so assuming it's not too late, it shouldn't go too far. Otherwise, I'll have to work out something in the future where I have a singular link where I post all the pictures of these things. Otherwise, I recommend going to the YouTube video and looking up when you have the chance. I really can't do the description of this thing justice. It really makes Olimar look awesome, though. And yes, that Samus swimsuit custom amiibo is still up on their Etsy account. It looks like it's $65, so if you take a look at it and like what you see, you have the option to buy it. And while I'm plugging other people, I have a custom amiibo shop too. Yeah, I cannot not make this about me, could I? But I do have a Store Envy account, and if I'm gonna, I really want to promote it if I'm gonna be promoting other people's store pages as well, because I really want to make my custom amiibos worthwhile so I can have the income to make more custom amiibos. But if you go to jackiek.storenivy.com, you'll see some that I have listed up already. I plan on posting more up on there in the future. And there's also some prints on there as well. Oh, did I really close out the page just to pull up my Store Envy account? Wow, I'm more vain than I thought. But yeah, if you're interested in buying the Samus swimsuit amiibo that I featured, you can go on to Etsy, which would be www.etsy.com. Look up Amanda Sue Crass, and assuming that it's not sold already, the Samus swimsuit custom will be listed up on there. That's about all the time I have for this week's KayCast though. It seems I wasn't able to make it longer like I promised, but it's better to end things off here than try to artificially stretch it out any more than I have. But speaking of stretching things out, I know it's short notice, but I asked for some Q&A for the KayCast. If you want to ask me anything, I would talk more about it on this show. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything this week, but if you want to send me some questions, I'll be sure to keep them on standby for the next week. I need a little extra filler. Probably not next week because we got a whole bunch of Sun and Moon news coming out to talk about. Hopefully I'm not building up the hype for that too much, because it all depends on what Nintendo, Game Freak, and the Pokemon Company are willing to show. But I'm hoping that I have a lot to talk about, because that means we'll be getting a lot. But definitely the next week that I have a shorter KayCast, I'll cover any Q&A you guys want to ask me. With that said, this has been Jackie K. If you enjoyed what you see and didn't find it too vain, and you want to support me so I can get a little confidence boost and be able to produce even better content in the future, feel free to like this video if you're watching on YouTube, or feel free to like it on whatever audio source you're listening to this from. Feel free to subscribe to me on YouTube if you want to see more of these KayCast videos in the future, or support the content I do on the YouTubes. If you want to support my art, I have... Oh, before I get into that, the social medias you can follow me on, in case I don't get a chance to talk about an update, or I come up with something in between episodes that I feel the need to announce. For that and miscellaneous posts of whatever I feel, there's Twitter, which would be @JacketStuff. For video updates on Facebook, that would just be Jacket K. No, I keep making this mistake. My Facebook link is Jacket K LPs. Because someone took Jacket K. One of these days I'll consistently not do that. Jacket K, however, is the account I have on DeviantArt if you want to keep up to date with cosplay photos I take at conventions, custom amiibos I do, or maybe someday I'll actually get back into drawing because I found a way to use my tablet again. Those will be posted on there as well. If you prefer Facebook, Jacket K, spelled JACKITKAY, will be focusing on custom amiibos and cosplay related posts. I do have an Instagram under that same name for similar purposes if you want to follow me on there as well. That's about all the plugging I can do. I ran out of outlets to plug into. But I hope to see y'all next time. Okay?